The people who were closest to me, the ones I laughed with, grew up with, trusted completely, they were the ones who almost stopped me from building everything I have today, not because they were bad people, because they were comfortable people, and comfort is contagious. My name is Marcus. I grew up in Mississauga, Ontario, a city just outside Toronto, where everyone knows, everyone, where the same faces show up at the same places year after year, and where the unspoken rule in my circle was simple: do not grow too fast, do not dream too loud, and definitely do not leave anyone behind by becoming something they are not. I want to talk to you today about something that nobody in the success space talks about honestly. The moment when the people you love become the biggest obstacle between you and the life you are supposed to live. Because that moment is coming for you, if it has not already arrived. And how you handle it will define everything. This is my story. But I promise you, by the end of this video, you will recognize pieces of it as yours. My circle in my early 20s was everything to me. 5 guys, same neighborhood, same school, same everything. We were brothers in every way that matters, and I would have done anything for any one of them, still would. But here is what I did not understand then, that I understand completely now. Love and direction are 2 different things. You can love people deeply and still be going somewhere they are not willing to go. I was 22 when I first told them I wanted to build a business. Not just a side hustle, a real business. Distribution, supply chain. I had been studying it for 2 years on my own, reading every night, watching every video, saving every dollar from my warehouse job. I had a plan, a real one, written in a notebook that I carried everywhere. I was ready to share it with the people I trusted most. The reaction was not what I expected. Not anger, not jealousy. Something quieter and more damaging than both. Laughter. Not mean laughter, just the kind of laughter that says, we know you, we know what you are actually capable of, and this is not it. Marcus, man, you do not know anything about running a business. Stick to the warehouse. At least you have benefits. That was the sentence, word for word. I still remember it. And the worst part, I almost listened. Not because the logic was good, because the voice saying it belonged to someone I loved, and when someone you love tells you who you are, some part of you wants to believe them, even when they are wrong, especially when they are wrong. I want to stop here and talk directly to you, because I know someone watching this right now is in the exact place I was at 22. You have an idea, a plan, a vision for something bigger than where you currently are. And the people around you, the ones you love, the ones whose opinions matter to you, are not behind it, are not behind you, and you are trying to decide what that means. Here is what I need you to hear. The people in your life are not wrong because they doubt you. They are wrong because they are using their own ceiling to measure your potential. And their ceiling is built from their own fears, their own experiences, their own comfort zones. It has absolutely nothing to do with what you are actually capable of. Nothing, not a single thing. I did not leave my friends. I did not cut them off. I did not make a dramatic speech. I made a quiet decision. I decided that their opinion of my potential was information I would collect and then ignore. I would love them. I would keep showing up for them, but I would build anyway, in silence, without their permission, without their belief, using only my own. At 23, I registered my first company in Ontario, Marcus Webb Distribution Solutions. I did it alone on a Tuesday afternoon at a Service Ontario location near my apartment. $20 for the registration. I walked out of that building and stood on the pavement for a long time. Nobody was there. No celebration, no applause. Just me and a piece of paper and a decision that nobody around me believed was real yet. The first year was brutal. I will not romanticize it. I was cold calling suppliers from my apartment at 7 a.m. before my warehouse shift, sending emails at midnight, driving across the GTA on weekends to meet with small businesses who needed supply chain solutions and could not afford the big companies, getting ignored, getting told no, getting told I was too young, too small, too new. hearing the word no so many times that it stopped sounding like a word and started sounding like background noise. My friends noticed I was absent, less at the hangouts, less at the weekends. One of them called me one night, genuinely concerned, and said, "Bro, are you okay? We never see you anymore." And I said, "I am better than okay. I am building something." He went quiet for a second, then said, "Okay. I hope it works out. Not I believe in you, not I am proud of you, I hope it works out. Like someone wishing luck at a lottery ticket they do not expect to win." I used that. I want to be honest about that. Every quiet doubt from the people I loved, every sideways glance, every polite dismissal, every conversation that ended with, "We will see." I kept it, not as bitterness, as fuel. I wrote every one of them in my notebook. And on the nights when I wanted to quit, I opened that notebook and read through every single one, not to feel angry, to feel awake. Month 14, a medium-sized retailer in Brampton needed a full distribution overhaul. Their current supplier had let them down 3 times in 2 months. They needed someone reliable, responsive, and hungry. I was all 3. I showed up to that meeting in my bomber jacket with my notebook and a proposal I had spent 3 weeks preparing. They signed with me that afternoon. First real contract, $60,000 in annual value. I drove home and sat in my car for 20 minutes before I could move. That one contract became 2, 2 became 5. The word that spread about my company in the Greater Toronto Area business community was the same word I had spent 14 months earning, reliable. I showed up when I said I would. I delivered what I promised. I answered my phone on weekends. In a world where most businesses fail at the basics, those basics became my competitive advantage, and they compounded every single month. By 25, Marcus Webb. Distribution Solutions had 12 active clients, 4 full-time employees, and monthly revenue crossing $40,000. I was not a millionaire. But I was building something real, something mine, something that was growing, and something that every single person who had laughed in that room 3 years earlier could now see with their own eyes. I did not bring it up. I never said I told you so. I did not need to. The work said it. The client said it. The employees whose families were being supported by something I had built from a notebook and a warehouse job, and 2 years of everyone else's doubt, they said it louder than any words I could have spoken. Today, Marcus Webb. Distribution Solutions operates across 4 Canadian provinces: British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, Quebec, over 60 clients, 19 employees, annual revenue crossing $4 million. And a small office in downtown Mississauga, 2 blocks from the neighborhood where 5 guys once laughed at a notebook full of plans that one of them refused to put away. My friends, the same ones, are still my friends. Some of them have come to me for business advice. One of them now works for my company, not because I wanted to prove anything, because the circle I grew up with is still the circle I carry. I just carry it differently now, from a different position, with a different capacity to help. And that is perhaps the most important part of this entire story. You do not have to lose your people to outgrow the limitations they placed on you, but you do have to outgrow them. You have to make the quiet decision that their ceiling is not your ceiling, their comfort is not your compass, their doubt is not your data, their love for you, real as it is, does not entitle them to define what you are capable of. Only you get to do that. Only you. And the moment you truly believe that, I mean really believe it, not just repeat it, the moment you believe it in the room where the laughter happened, that is the moment everything changes. I want to ask you something directly. Who in your life right now is using their own ceiling to measure your potential? Not out of cruelty, out of love, out of familiarity, out of the very human tendency to protect the people we care about from the pain of failure, even if that protection costs them the possibility of success. Name them, not out loud, not to anyone else, just to yourself. Be honest about whose voice is loudest in your head when your own voice says, "I can do this," and then make the same quiet decision I made at 22, not to leave them, not to fight them, to build anyway. To love them from the road they are not willing to walk, and to walk it quietly, consistently, without their permission, until the results make the argument for you. The road was right. It was always right. They were just not ready to walk it with me, and that is okay. It does not make them bad people. It makes them human. But your humanity, your full, capable, unstoppable humanity, does not belong to anyone's comfort zone but your own. Subscribe to Zero to Empire. Share this with one person in your life who is trying to build something while the people around them are not yet ready to believe. And drop a comment below. Has someone you loved ever doubted your dream? What did you do? Write it. Because your story might be the exact thing someone else needs to read today. The friends were wrong. The road was right. The notebook was always right. Build anyway. Zero to Empire. Your road is waiting.